Welcome back to GI Soap Opera Today, your daily deep dive into the twist, betrayals, power plays, and heartbreak shaking portrayals. If you love intense breakdowns, layered speculation, and bold predictions you won't hear anywhere else, make sure you subscribe, hit like, and turn on notifications. Your support keeps this channel growing. Now, let's dive in. Lucas risks everything to steal Britt's life-saving medicine. But what if he gets caught? What if Sidwell's fire explodes? And what if Willow's darkest choice is still ahead? One that could cost Chase his life? Port Charles is about to ignite. Port Charles is entering one of its most volatile chapters in recent memory, and the epicenter of the storm is forming around Britt Westbourne, Lucas Jones, and the ruthless mastermind Jane Sidwell. What began as quiet manipulation is now escalating toward open danger, and Lucas may be walking straight into a trap he doesn't even realize has already been set. Lucas has always been driven by loyalty. When he loves someone, he commits, and right now his focus is singular, freeing Britt from Sidwell's grip. But what Lucas doesn't fully understand is that he is not just dealing with Sidwell, he is unknowingly stepping into a web involving WSB Director Ross Cullum, a man whose reach extends far beyond Spawn Island. Lucas believes this is a controlled risk, a stealth mission, a calculated move, steal one vial, reverse engineer the formula, break Britt free. But Vandermeer is not a place where secrets stay buried, and it is certainly not a castle where people move unnoticed. Lucas lives there. That gives him access, but it also places him under constant surveillance. Pascal already discharged him. Sidwell has explicitly warned Marco Rios to keep Lucas close, and Marco himself, torn between blood loyalty and romantic loyalty, may be closer to snapping than Lucas realizes. The danger is layered. If Lucas sneaks away and begins searching for Britt's hidden medication, even the slightest misstep could expose him. A missing key, a security camera glance, a question asked at the wrong time, and once suspicion turns to confirmation, Sidwell will not respond mildly. Sidwell doesn't merely punish betrayal, he makes examples of it. If Lucas is caught mid-grab holding a vial that represents the collapse of Sidwell's entire operation, the consequences will be brutal. Pascal may try to handle it quietly, perhaps disposing of Lucas before it becomes a larger problem. But if word reaches Sidwell directly, that fear will not stay contained. And fear is the tragic irony. Lucas believes he is the savior in this scenario. He believes he is stepping into danger with eyes open. He has no idea there is a second predator watching from the shadows. Rose Cullum. Cullum's involvement adds an entirely new level of threat. Britt isn't simply being cursed for corporate levers. She is being blackmailed in a global power scheme involving weaponized technology discussed under cold fusion development. Lucas thinks he is stealing medicine. He is actually interfering in a geopolitical nightmare. If Cullum learns of Lucas' interference, he won't hesitate. Lucas isn't a romantic complication, he is collateral. And that makes this mission potentially fatal. Marco Rios may prove to be the most unpredictable element in this equation. He is being instructed to keep Lucas close, monitor him, judge him. But if Mirko discovers Lucas is actively undermining Sidwell and doing so secretly, it could fracture their relationship permanently. Does Marco choose love or does he choose survival? Because if Mirko tips off Sidwell, Lucas will feel the betrayal from both sides. And if Mirko stays silent and helps Lucas, he risks becoming expendable himself. Pascal has already floated the idea that everyone would be better off if Lucas disappeared. That suggestion wasn't ideal. Lucas is liability, and liabilities don't survive long in Sidwell's world. Imagine the moment Lucas caught red-handed, a vial missing. Sidwell is stepping into the room. Come at first, that airy calm before devastation. Sidwell doesn't yell, he calculates. He forces confession, he forces explanation, and then he forces consequences. Would Sidwell kill Lucas outright? Or would he use him? Lucas could become leverage against Britt, against Marco, against anyone who dares defy him. And if Lucas becomes a bargaining chip, Britt's nightmare intensifies because saving Lucas might require her to complete the prototype or else betray someone else. While danger simmers on Spawn Island, a quieter but equally explosive storyline is brewing between Dent Falconeri, Elizabeth Baldwin, and Rick Lansing. Rick believes he is rebuilding something real with Elizabeth. Their Valentine's date wasn't just nostalgia, it was possibility, laughter, connection, a case that suggested unfinished business. But Elizabeth has not promised anything, and Dent is stepping forward at precisely the wrong or right time. Dent has been trapped in grief since losing Sam McCall. He hasn't truly opened his heart since. But with Elizabeth, something feels grounded, steady, familiar. The recent conversations weren't casual. There was warmth, gratitude, a spark. When Dant hinted he might want to repay Elizabeth, it wasn't about favors. It felt like a taste, a soft launch into something more. If Dant asks Elizabeth on a date and she says yes, Rick's reaction won't be subtle. Rick doesn't compete quietly. Jealousy has always been his Achilles heel. He could see Rick confronting Dent directly. We could see passive aggressive jabs or strategic manipulation. Elizabeth will find herself in the middle of two very different men. Rick intense, complicated, passionate. Dent is steady. He is protective and emotionally involving. But what makes this triangle dangerous isn't romance, it's timing. Because Dent is deeply tied to the Geo's shooting investigation and Rick is connected to Michael. If romantic tension bleeds into professional conflict, alliances could fracture fast. Meanwhile, Willow remains under Sidwell's thumb and is maybe the most heartbreaking unfolding. She shot Geo. She is paralyzing him. She is being groomed to occupy his congressional seat as a puppet, and Chase is unknowingly circling closer to the truth. Chase is determined. He believes Michael is guilty, but if he keeps digging, he may discover the real shooter. Willow, if Chase learns the truth, Sidwell will see him as a liability. And here is where the story turns chilling. Would Sidwell push Willow to eliminate Chase? Would she cross that line? She has already justified shooting two. She is actively maintaining his paralysis. She's attempting to frame Michael, but murder, deliberate, calculated murder of the man who defended her. That may be her breaking point, or it may not. The most devastating twist would be Chase paying the ultimate price for protecting the very woman who betrayed him. However, this could also be Willow's redemption pivot. If Sidwell pressured her to take out Chase and she refused, that refusal could be the crack in Sidwell's control, and from that crack, collapse. Now, here's where the power dynamic shifts dramatically. If Sidwell believes Britt is replaceable, he may turn to Liesel object. And here is the key. Sidwell and Callum may not realize Britt and Liesel are mother and daughter, different surnames, separate reputations, shared scientific brilliance. If Liesel is recruited to replace Britt on the prototype, the villains will have made a catastrophic miscalculation because no one weaponizes vengeance like Liesel. Once he realizes Britt is being blackmailed over her Huntington's treatment, Britt will follow. Liesel doesn't threaten, she retaliates. We have seen what she is capable of. Sidwell, Callum, Pascal, even Marco may underestimate her. That would be their final mistake. Liesel could align with Lucas and Britt in a silent counter-strike. She could sabotage the prototype. She could turn the weapon against its creators. And if Anna Divan becomes involved, arrest could follow or disappearances. Elsewhere, Sonny Corinthos continues circling Assistant District Attorney Justin. Their chemistry is not impulsive, it's strategic. They understand power, they understand consequence, they understand risk. When the case, it wasn't romance, it was acknowledgement. Two operators, one battlefield. But Sonny's involvement in Britt's situation could complicate everything. If he learns Kalam is threatening someone connected to his family circle, he won't wait for legal procedure. And if Sonny steps in, Kalam may vanish. The city may never know why. And Justin will be forced to decide whether justice bends or breaks. Willow has had enough, and this time she means it. For months now, she has felt controlled, manipulated, and cornered by the people in her life. And if there is one thing we know about Willow, is that when she reaches her limit, she acts. She's already severed ties when it suited her. She shot Drew twice and mature. He couldn't control her ever again. Now he is unable to move or speak, fully aware of everything happening around him. That's a chilling kind of power. And let's not forget what she has done to Michael, including planting that key to Drew's house on his keychain to serve her own agenda. Willow has been playing a dangerous game. Now teachers hint that she makes a vow. If that vow is about never letting anyone control her again, poor Charlie's had better brace itself. Because when Willow draws a line in the sand, she doesn't step back from it. The real question is, how far will she go to prove it? Meanwhile, Lucy thinks she is being clever. Sidwell has pushed the people of Port Charles too far, and Lucy is determined to gather the evidence to bring him down. She is staying close to the enemy, but this is Lucy we're talking about. When has one of her undercover plans ever gone smoothly? Spoilers say she suddenly has some explain to do. Has she been caught snooping? If Sidwell suspects her betrayal, Lucy could find herself in very serious trouble. Laura, on the other hand, is playing a much more careful game. Sidwell has leverage over her, and she knows charging ahead recklessly won't work. Instead, she is holding back, choosing her moments wisely. Sometimes, the smartest move is appearing to cooperate while quietly planning your next step. Laura didn't become the leader, she is by acting impulsively. Over with Liesel, we may see an emotional shift. She is turning to Britt for help, something that hasn't happened easily since Britt's shocking return. Their relationship has been strained, but perhaps this is beginning of healing. Could Liesel be meeting again in matters of the heart, possibly involving Max and Nathan? If so, she is fighting an uphill battle. Max has already made her choice, but when has that ever stopped a determined mother? And then there's Lucas. He is digging deeper into dangerous territory, asking questions about Sidwell and sharing information with Marco. He wants answers badly, but curiosity in Port Charles often comes with a price. The more Lucas pushes, the closer he may get to trouble he can't outrun. Big wars, risky moves, and consequences closing in. Port Charles is about to erupt. If Lucas gets caught stealing Brit medication, do you think Sidwell will kill him or use him as leverage? If Sidwell forces Willow to choose between protecting Chase or protecting herself, what will she do? Between Rick and Dent, who truly deserves Elizabeth's heart and who will she choose? Drop your answers in the comments. Let's debate. A confrontation at Windmere will change everything. Someone walks in at the worst possible moment, and the fallout will not be contained. Meanwhile, an unexpected alliance forms that could shift the power balance in Port Charles permanently. That's it for today's deep dive from GA Soap Opera today. If you want daily long form breakdowns, bold predictions, and layered speculation that goes beyond surface spoilers, make sure you subscribe, hit that like button, and share this with fellow GA's fans. Port Charles is about to explode, and we will be right here covering every twist. See you next time.